A lot going on in the world of golf this week on the PGA Tour. Charlie Hoffman defends his Valero Texas Open title. Past champs Jimmy Walker and Zach Johnson help headline the field.
On the European Tour, it's the week of the Shenzhen International, where Bubba Watson headlines for the third consecutive year. Bubba's looking for his first worldwide win since the 2016 Genesis Open.
And the PGA Tour champions with the Bass Pro Legends of Golf in Ridgedale, Missouri, atop of the rock. A two-man team format. Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player are part of the Legends divisions. We've got a lot more coming your way as Golf Central starts right now.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
TPC San Antonio in the Lone Star State will welcome some of the best on the PGA Tour this week for the Valero Texas Open. Year in and year out, one of the hardest tracks on tour, and year in and year out, usually the wind grabs a share of the spotlight in San Antonio. Thankfully, Lisa, no wind blowing through Studio A tonight. Lisa Cornwell, George Savarikas.
Not yet. Wait, we'll see what happens. They say everything is bigger in Texas, and that usually includes those strong winds that George was just talking about. But it didn't bother these players too much as we take a look at the last 5 winners of the Valero Texas Open. No one did it better among this group than Martin Laird in 2013, who finished the 72-hole event at -14. Charlie Hoffman's 12 under total last season, well, that wasn't too shabby either. For more on the 4-time PGA Tour winner, who had quite a run a couple weeks ago at Augusta National, especially to start, we welcome in Chantel McCabe, live from TPC San Antonio. Chantel, how is Hoffman's frame of mind going into this week as the defending champ after that disappointing final round of 78 in the Masters?
Well, we all remember that opening round 65. It was thrilling and it was certainly memorable for Charlie Hoffman, but ultimately he left Augusta National disappointed. He went on to play in the RBC Heritage last week, but missed the cut with a pair of 73s. He's really trying to get things on track, and playing in the Valero Texas Open, it could not come at a more perfect timing as he wants to work off all of the good things this season, including his improvements in putting. He says being here makes him feel comfortable, and that certainly is obvious being the defending champion. But over the last 7 years since this tournament moved to TPC San Antonio in 2010, he's finished 13 or better. And take a look at what he's done compared to the rest of the field. 43 under par in those 7 years. Impressive stuff, and obviously this is a place that he says not only is welcoming, but makes him feel comfortable heading into this week.
What I like about it, visually off the tee, it fits my eye. So I've been known to drive it okay, so it just visually, I get on the golf course and it feels good off the tee, and then it's from there I'm in a good position to be able to attack and make some birdies.
Hoping to go for second in a row here at Valero Texas Open. What would you say your game is at compared to where you've been coming into this tournament in the past?
Yeah, everything feels good. Obviously, was playing well into the Masters, played well at the Masters. Last week was just a little tired and didn't really play that well last week. But all in all, the game feels great. The putter's coming around, which usually when I start making putts, usually when I play well. So I feel good, and hopefully I can go back-to-back here at the Valero Texas Open. I
know your caddy, Brett, had done some tinkering with your putting between Palmer Invitational and the Masters. Any other tinkering you've done, and how far has that putting come along? Yeah,
you know, just I guess back to basics, aiming the putter right, making sure everything's aimed where you're looking. We got away from that a little bit. Brett noticed it right there at the Palmer Invitational and had some success there. And then obviously I've carried that over for a few weeks, and everything feels good and going in the right direction for sure.
Hoffman said that this course, TPC San Antonio, sets up visually well for him. Another place that set up visually well for him, Augusta National, and he said he credits that to his opening round 65. He said he didn't even realize how in the zone he was during that round until after he got off the golf course, and a couple days later. He said he was just plugging away, and that's what he hopes to do again this week as the defending champion at the Valero Texas Open. Lisa?
Must be nice to get into a zone like that. Chantel, thank you very much. We'll get another report from her later in the show. Some of the notables competing this week include a couple of other past winners here. Zach Johnson and Jimmy Walker, and Patrick Reed. He was last season's runner-up.
Got 3 guys sitting beside me who are always in the zone on Golf Central. Might be, telling a bit of a fib there, but Tripp Eisenhower, Nick O'Hearn, Tim Rosafort join me as we're taking a look at this week's Valero Texas Open. Windy conditions have been year in and year out kind of the expected norm? Who could thrive this week if that's the case?
Well, let's throw in a Stern golf course as well. Stern test really from start to finish, and these greens are very tiny. They're segmented. I'm just gonna go more on Charlie Hoffman because it's hard not to ride this horse for this course. Charlie Hoffman, why does he play well here? Well, he mentioned he drives the ball well here, but you know what? As far as his stats go, stacking up with the flat stick, well, Charlie Hoffman, in fact, putts these greens fantastic. Last year, 4th in strokes gained putting. You know what? 19 times in his career, he's been inside the top 10 in strokes gained putting. 5 of those instances came right here in San Antonio. And if we look at going back to 2010, Charlie Hoffman and how he's putted these greens compared to anywhere else in his career, well, there you can see almost double better than the Heritage. You know, another golf course with small, tight greens, but Charlie Hoffman thrives on these greens, and it will not be any different this week. I expect him to be part of the story late into this tournament. Another guy who loves this golf course is Ryan Palmer. And I was texting Ryan earlier today. I said, why do you like it? He said, you know what? I love the tee shots here. I thrive off the tee here because I can eliminate the left side. I can swing aggressively. And you know what? Ryan Palmer is one of those underrated drivers of the golf ball. He drives the ball long. He drives the ball straight. In fact, a couple of seasons ago, he was inside the top 4 in strokes gained off the tee for the entire season. Look at this right here. Look at his ranks and how he stacks up. 6 of the last 7 players have averaged over 295 yards. You can tick those boxes for Ryan Palmer. He's got everything but a pair of those boots, and that might change come Sunday.
Remember just a year ago that it was Patrick Reed who was neck and neck with Charlie Hoffman. Charlie rolls in that putt on that last, the dramatic celebration. He gets the win in Texas. We haven't heard a lot from Patrick Reed heading into this year's Valero Texas Open. How big a change has it been from 16 to 17?
Big change, coming off a couple of missed cuts where he was obviously competitive, especially at this event a year ago. And you look at the numbers, these are not Patrick Reed numbers. 141st in driving accuracy, 176th in greens, 148th in scoring. And the one that really jumps out to his camp and his team is scrambling, 175 in his ranking. I talked to Patrick at the Masters. He says a lot of it has to do with the fact that he made an equipment change in the offseason. You guys are tour players. When they got the clubs, the ball just wasn't going out on the usual flight where he didn't see it where it was supposed to be going. And they checked the clubs. They were actually all messed up as it relates to loft and lie, mostly lie. They feel like they got that straightened out in Tampa a couple weeks ago, but both Kevin Kirk, his swing coach, and Josh Gregory, his performance coach, talking to him today, you know, they described the short game as being soft compared to years previous, where he was always a top 10 guy. And to that, they feel like they're kind of working their way out of it. They spent 3 to 4 hours last week, almost every day, working on shots from 120 yards and in. So Patrick Reed, you know the competitor in him. Now that he's got the equipment dialed in, I feel like he's going to start making a move now.
Nick, we see a lot of weeks in the PGA Tour, you've played it, where guys can just make hay on the par 5s. Those are the holes where they're trying to take advantage throughout their round. TPC San Antonio's a bit of a different layout. What makes their par 5 so tricky?
It's a very interesting feature of the golf course. 3 of them are, 600 yards. The other one's around 570 yards, so they're very, very long. And basically, scoring-wise, the average is a little higher than most. I think they rank consistently in the top 5, on tour all year. And the other thing that's interesting is when guys go for the greens in 2 here, they, less than 7% of the times they actually hit the greens in 2, and that has a lot to do with the greens. They're very undulating, a lot of tiers in them, and there are quite a lot of runoffs. The 18th in particular is one of those greens where if you go for it, you can make a 3 or a 4, but 5, 6, 7s, mostly 7s, are waiting for you at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, that's why we've seen low winning scores aren't necessarily the norm in the Valero Texas Open. Let's kick it over to Lisa.
Tiger Woods Golf Course Design Team is creating a public course for the very first time. TGR Design will build a 19-hole par 3 short course at Big Cedar Lodge in Ridgeville, Missouri, the home of this week's stop on the PGA Tour Champions. Tiger says the extra hole can settle any wagers. The course will be called Paynes Valley in honor of the late Payne Stewart. It is scheduled to open in 2019. Woods was on site today. He hit 2 wedges during the media announcement. One did go in the water, and then he gave an update on his back rehab.
Well, the back is progressing. The first shot was crap, hitting the water. The second shot, I stiffed it. So, no, it's, as I was telling, what Mark was saying, at Augusta, I have good days and bad days. I've had 3 back operations. And that's just kind of the nature of the business, unfortunately. That's all I can say.
Nice to hear that he is swinging away, though. Here's a look at Tiger's performances since his most recent back procedure in October 2015. We've only seen him in action 3 times, and 2 of those were short-lived. The missed cut at Farmers and an early exit in Dubai. Still to come, we have a collection of videos you won't want to miss. The all-time best moments in the game that happened in the state of Texas. You know it's worth watching when Jack and Tiger are in the mix. Plus, the man with the man bun is letting go of his amateur status after making the cut in the Masters. We'll tell you more about the reigning USAM champ from down under and his pro debut. Also, the boys who love to battle with words, they're back. John Feinstein and Jeff Shackelford debate all sorts of topics, including Dustin Johnson's next big moment. It's all ahead on Golf Central.
Golf Central is brought to you by the Volkey Design SM6 wedges, progressive design, precision performance. Grip Confidence, Grip Golf Pride.